Welcome to Just Musings. And what are we going to speak about today? Today, let's speak about nature. Okay? Nature is, we call it prakariti. Okay? And it is the beautiful mountains, valleys, the mist, the snow, the birds, the bees, the sun, the moon, the constellation, and all of us. So, of course, the cells, the atoms, and everything, the feelings, the emotions, thoughts, everything is nature. Okay? So, what are we going to speak about? Nature. Yeah, this was just an understanding that all this comprises of nature. Today, I want to say, or rather share, that some things that I observe, and I'm sure you all observe, that nature is in constant communication. Yes, nature is communicating with you right now. Nature is in constant communication. So when I say you, or when I say me, it does not mean that there is nature and there is me and there is some communication. This composition, body, mind, is nature. And nature is in communication with nature. To make this simple, very simple. The brain communicates with the stomach, maybe the liver, even the intestines. There is a constant communication within the organism. We are not aware of this, but this communication is happening. So then I can say the brain communicates with the liver. Okay? Or the liver communicates with the brain. Just because there are two names to the organs, one organ communicating with another organ. So nature communicating with nature. So when I say nature is in constant communication with you, do not misunderstand. Nature is in communication with nature only. So this is nature, body, mind, thoughts, intellect, everything. Nature and nature. So nature is communicating with nature. Now let's get a bit deeper into this. Okay? Nature is invested in our evolution. So again, when I say our, we will think, okay, my evolution. Nature is technically interested in evolution. Interested, and I would also say invested. So there is a constant push to evolve. And all of us have faced this n number of times, that there are things I don't want to do. And we start getting messages from all around us. It could be a WhatsApp message. It could be an email. It could be a friend, just telling you, hey, you need to do this. It could be your spouse. It could be your children. Or it could be some random stranger just telling you something. And you're like, really? So this is how, first of all, okay, this was the second stage. First stage is when nature is communicating with itself in its very essence. The self speaks to us. Who us? The self is nature, ego, and there is the pure self, and there is the lower self. Higher self is always in communication with the lower self. Lower self chooses, the ego chooses not to listen. Okay? This is our problem. Only human species have this problem. Rest, if you see, when there's going to be an earthquake, the birds know. When it's going to rain, the animals know. The peacock steps out, open its beautiful feathers, and sways and dances. We are not aware. We are not even carrying an umbrella. Birds know. The bees know. Plants know. Animals know. Everybody knows. What are we humans doing? Why don't we know? Is nature partial? Is it not communicating with the human species? Of course it is communicating. Then what's going wrong? We are not listening. Somewhere we have this ability as a human species to block the communication. And by blocking, just not allowing, blocking the communication, we are doing, big time harm to our own selves. We are causing unknown damage. You could say like that. How and why does nature want to communicate with us for our evolution? The human species is almost on top of the ladder, wanting to, evolve into something pure. Okay? But the human also has the ability to go up the ladder, come down the ladder. So we are always going up and down the ladder of evolution. So this going up, pulling up, is nature's communication. Nature communicates through different people, through friends. This is what I spoke of earlier. Nature is in communication for your evolution. Do I care to listen or do I not care to listen? Do I block or do I listen? Why do I block if I block? The tendency to block comes because we do not have enough faith and trust. So when somebody comes and says something, we're like, what does he want? Why are they telling me this? Do they want something from me? These are our doubts. And because of these doubts and these questions, we get stuck. First, we don't listen to the inner voice. We all speak about intuition, right? We speak about intuition. We speak about gut feeling. I got this feeling, the gut feeling and the intuitions. The intuition, oh, I'm feeling something, it's gonna happen. So these feelings, these messages, where do you think they arise from? They arise from within you. Nature is in communication with nature. So when this communication is happening, if I am aware, if I am in the right zone, I will catch the communication. And once I catch the communication, I am in the flow of nature. When I block the communication, you know what happens, right? We have blocked the flow of nature. So I have kept a boulder where the river was, the stream was flowing. Now there's a boulder. The water still flows, but there is obstruction. So this obstruction is caused by us when we function as the ego. Okay? Now, how to be aware? First, if you're aware, you will hear the communication. You will listen to the message within you. Just in case that's not happening, nature is not letting us go. Nature tells us, send somebody, your spouse, your friend, your mom, your dad, somebody will come and give you the message. But we are so adamant, so stubborn, we're like, what's in it for them? Why are they after my life? I don't want to listen. And then we care to ignore these messages from nature. And then nature is so invested, so invested. Nature will next go ahead and send some neighbors, some friends, somebody who we may listen to. And even if that is neglected, then come maybe the random shopkeeper, maybe somebody walking on the street, maybe a WhatsApp message or maybe an Insta message. Somewhere we still get the communication. Now, when I'm saying nature, you could call it divinity, you could call it God, you could call it prakriti or superpower, higher power, higher self, pure self. Paramatma, there are several words for this, but in effect, it is the one power that is in communication with itself for growth, for evolution. So human growth, yeah, physically we do grow. Here the evolution is of the self, of the technically the consciousness level. Okay. As the consciousness level evolves, I wouldn't even say grow, as it evolves, you as a human function better. You function less stressed and more in a flow. Just like the stream flows, just like the river flows, there is no obstruction. So there is a let go. Let go not in the sense of letting go of responsibility, but rather let go because you allow nature to flow. Just imagine if we had power to interfere with our digestion, the food wouldn't digest. If I had the power to look within and say, look here, liver, you're not supposed to assimilate the vitamins now, do it at this hour, this, that. If I set the timetable for my organs to function, they are going to be messed up. Indirect communication by us for our own organs does mess up. We sleep late, we eat late, we eat in the middle of the night. All this is miscommunication. There is you could say, problem in the machinery because of the miscommunication. So if we follow nature, if we allow nature to flow, life happens. Life happens. Let nature continue its communication and let us listen to that communication. Nature is communicating every moment. Are we allowing this communication or are we creating blocks? This is the question. How do I create block? By being unconscious, not unconscious in the sense unconscious, but not being conscious and not being aware to what's being sent to me, what's being spoken to me. The very fact that just knowing that nature is communicating with me, let me open my eyes, let me open my ears, and let me take the messages that nature is sending to me. Nature, God, divinity cares and wants me to evolve. This very understanding will allow you to receive. It's about receiving with awareness. Whatever nature gives to you. Why does nature give anything to you? Because it wants you to evolve. So first, when you don't listen, it will send messages through various methods. And when finally you don't listen, there could be some incident which could hurt you, harm you, trouble you, and you would be like, why didn't I listen to that message? We mistake it as warnings, but actually these are mere communications for our own evolution, for our own growth, you could say. So for this, nature is communicating. When I don't listen, when I don't listen, when I don't listen, then nature says, okay, I need to push. And that push shakes us badly. And we are like, God's punishing me. God's cursing me. I'm in trouble. Nobody is cursing. Nobody is punishing. Nature is in constant communication, helping you to move ahead in life. Only if we care to listen. When we don't listen, we get the push. And that push we generally understand as warning. You could say it's warning, but I always say that nature, divinity, loves us so much, that it wants us to evolve at all costs. So what do? We allow nature to communicate. Anyway, it's communicating. We allow nature to communicate in the sense we allow by being receptive to nature's words, nature's messages, nature's hints, nature's clues. So my dear friends, just imagine right now if nature is communicating to you, through you, it's nothing other than you communicating with you. Why do we see the separation? Just like I began, liver is communicating with the brain, brain is communicating. Technically, they are not different. Organ communicating with organ. Prakriti, divinity, nature, communicating with nature. Nature is invested in us for our evolution. As the human species, we have the maximum ability to reach, to, excavate, to unfold, unveil the purity, the divinity. That's you. That's you. Whatever the veils are, have to be uncovered. And for this uncovering, nature is aiding us, helping us in every possible way. Every possible way. We need to listen. We need to just allow nature to flow. And then life is a flow. The message today is, let life not happen to you. Make life happen. To make life happen, step back and let it flow. If you do not step back, life will happen to you. And that could come as a surprise, as a shock. Rather, just step back and let life just flow. Life will not then happen. You have, by stepping back, made life happen. Thank you so much for listening and being part of Just Musings. So stay connected. God bless. Thank you so much. Bye.